Let's take a look at how to calculate a weighted average when we have different categories that are not equally weighted. So here we have our student Joe Smith, and he has a class where his exams are worth 50%, his quizzes are worth 20%, his homework is worth 10%, his project and participation are also 10% each. On the right here we have all of his grades. So here are his exam grades, 85, 90, 81, 92. Here are his quiz grades, and here are his homework grades, and his grade for his project that he completed, and his class participation grade. Now, across the top, we've just retyped the different weights for each category so I can keep them straight. And what we need to do to calculate a weighted average is we need to first find out the average or mean for each category. So we simply added up all of the exam grades, and there were 4 of them. We divided by 4 and got an average grade of 87. We did the same for the quizzes to get a mean of 82.17, and the same for the homework to get an average of 83.20. The project and participation, we don't need to calculate an average because there's only one grade for each. Notice we used 2 decimal places, and the reason we did that was to see if his final grade needed to be rounded up or down. If it was 80, if his final grade was an 87.5, it would round up to an 88 or something along those lines. Now, down below, we have our calculation for the overall average. Now, the first thing we do is take the average for each category and multiply it by its weight. So our exam grade ends up being a 43.5 because the average was an 87, which we then multiplied by 50% or 0.5, and that gave us 43.5. In other words, what we're saying is 50% of his final grade comes from exams, and his exam grade was an 87 on average. We do the same thing for the quizzes. We take the average, 82.17, multiply by the weight, 20%, 0.2, to get 16.43. The same calculation is done for the homework. So an average of 83.20 multiplied by 10% gives us 8.32. For the project and participation, we use the same formula, multiply the value times the weight, and then we simply add them up to get an overall average of 86.45. There is nothing else you need to do, except here we would round this to a whole number, which would be 86, and that would be his final grade. Where people go wrong with this is they try to do something afterwards, but because we've taken the average and multiplied it by the weight, it's all taken care of before we get here, so all you have to do at the end is just add them up. So once again, the process is simple. Find the mean for each subcategory, for example, exams or quizzes. Take that mean, multiply it by the weight of the category, and then simply add all of those up at the end.